UFC 317, Oliveira versus Topuria for the lightweight title is going down tomorrow. And here are my kind of casual thoughts on the main event. You know, this is obviously not the fight all the fans wanted. Islam Ilya didn't work out. Both kind of went, Islam up to 170. Just kind of bad timing, stuff like that. Didn't want to cut the weight anymore. Totally understand. But that's the fight people wanted. Just didn't end up happening. I think Arman versus Ilya would have been a better fight than Oliveira versus Ilya, but the UFC's pissed at Arman, so it just didn't happen. I really wish like Dana White just wouldn't get petty like that anymore. It's really annoying because I love this fight, but it should be Arman Ilya. Like Ilya Taporia is not a minus 450. Or at times I think I saw minus 500 against Arman Sarukian. It's just not the case at all. But overall, I think this is a banger fight. I love, Il Taporia is great. I love Oliveira. And I think this fight, I think the odds are way off on this fight personally. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But, starting with this kind of whole week and stuff like that, first of all, if any of you guys watched the press conference, I feel bad. I tried watching it. It was horrendous. I mean, it was just unbearable to watch. The questions are horrific. No one's good on the mic. And I don't really care necessarily like if someone's good on the mic. The only time I'll call out someone being on the mic is like a Sean O'Malley because like people are hyping up to be some massive mega star. Oh, he's like Connor and stuff like that. No. And people compare Ilia Topuria to McGregor. And listen, I know like the career, paths are kind of similar. They're both fighting, for the they both fought for the lightweight title, Ilia fighting tomorrow. But man, anyone who compares Ilia Topuria star level to Conor McGregor is just delusional. Has to be a fanboy of them. It straight up just cannot understand reality in the slightest. I mean, I'm watching this press conference. Ilia Topuria is boring as fuck on the mic, and I don't care about that. I care about how these guys fight. I don't actually like. It doesn't bother me that Ilia Topuria isn't good on the mic. I get it. It's whatever. Like I don't care. But when people are comparing him to McGregor, that's when I just have to push back and be like, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing? I mean, Ilia Topuria is not I don't have words to describe, but it's not a fraction of McGregor's star power. Is not a fraction. And it's whatever. I don't really care. I'm just glad Ilia Topuria is not, punching people at clubs, raping up a storm, and doing all that other stuff. So I don't really care about that too much. But when I see comparisons, like that, when people like in the media and other people are like, oh, like this guy's is like Connor right now. He's the next Connor. It's like, guys, no. It's not even close. They're not even comparable in the same stratosphere. And I mean, I said I had to turn off the press conference. It was that boring. And that's not really his fault, by the way, but he doesn't really make it any better. I mean, it's generally like, it's just that bad. It was that bad. I couldn't make it through the whole thing. It was awful. But overall, I like how much Ilya and Oliveira have kind of showed each other respect. Obviously, they talk a little bit of smack, like, I'm going to knock that guy out and stuff. But overall, I like how we got two legends here really showing a lot of respect for each other. But that's a little bit about the build-up. If we get into the actual fight itself, see, I'm probably the only guy on YouTube that's going to say this, but I'm picking Charles Oliveira to win this fight. I'm picking him to win the fight. I don't care that he's the underdog. He's always the underdog. He was the underdog versus Dustin Poirier. He was an underdog to goddamn Beneil Dariush, and Charles Oliveira proceeded to end his career. Now, obviously, Ilia Topuria is a lot better than Beneil Dariush. Ilia Topuria is most likely at lightweight better than a Dustin Poirier. But Oliveira's always counted out, and I think he can win this fight. I like the size advantage he has. If I pull it up right now, it's 5'10" to 5'7". It's a 74-inch reach to 69-inch reach. Obviously, it's not insane. It's not like, he's like a foot taller, obviously. But Oliveira, he's going to be taller. He's going to have more range in there. And I think the difference is that, obviously Max was taller and bigger, I guess, than Ilya. More lengthy than actual, like size and stuff like that. But obviously Max was bigger than him, taller than him. And it didn't matter. We saw what happened there. But the difference, I think, is that number one, this is at 155, and so which I think, completely different weight class. And number two, Oliveira hits like a truck. people underrate his power because he has so many submissions. Like, a lot of those submissions come from him hurting his opponent with his striking. When you look at the Justin Gaethje, he could have TKO'd Justin Gaethje if he wanted to, but since his jiu-jitsu is the best we've probably ever seen, at least submission-wise, it is the greatest we've ever seen. He just goes straight to jiu-jitsu because he's more comfortable with it. He's more confident in it. So I just think like at 155, with being the bigger fighter, with having KO power that I feel like everyone kind of forgets he has for some unknown reason. I mean, there's a reason why Gaethje said that's the hardest time he's ever been hit in his life. And on top of this, I think Oliveira just has such a dynamic amount of attacks. He has his striking with elite KO power. When he gets you in the clinch, the knees to the body, the elbows he can hit, the kicks he has. It's just, he throws so much at you. When you see him fighting a guy like Dustin, who, is really just kind of using the jab, using his hands, using the striking, Oliveira's using everything. He's kicking him more. He's purposely going and, kind of clinching with him in the middle of the octagon to land a knee. Maybe get him against the fence, land even more knees. And as I said, he hits as hard as anyone in lightweight, as anyone. So, I think he's going to be too much for Ilia Topuria. And we know Ilia Topuria has great striking. We know how dangerous his power is. And, he's quick and stuff like that. Ilia Topuria is an elite fighter. There's a reason why he knocked out Max Holloway like that and is undefeated in the UFC. But I think Oliveira is going to be too much for him. And I think overall, Ilia Topuria, I don't think he's not as good as a fighter when he's backing up. And what does Oliveira do every single fight? Who is Oliveira? He will push forward relentlessly, not caring how much power you have. And for me, I think Oliveira's defense and his head movement has improved over the last couple fights, which I think will benefit him greatly in this fight because we know the hooks that Ilia Topuria can land. I mean, he has maybe the best hooks in the game right now. I mean, unbelievable hooks, unbelievable power. But I think Oliveira is going to neutralize some of that by just pressing forward. Volkanovski kind of counter-strikes a bit. He's backing up and stuff like that. And he looked good against Ilia Topuria before Ilia Topuria shut his lights out. Now, I do think that was kind of Islam's sloppy seconds, but still, though, solid win by Topuria right there. Even if I do think Volk was a little compromised, still knocked him out. I thought he was going to knock him out. It sucked to see, but Ilia Topuria, I believe, would knock out Volk again if that rematch happened. But I think it's going to be too much for Ilia Topuria. And, man, I'm sure some people are going to clown me in the comments potentially for picking Oliveira, but I really think this fight's a lot closer than the odds and people are thinking. I really do. And, when you look at Ilia, listen, at the end of the day, he's 2 good wins on his resume. And one of them's over a compromised fighter who took a 4-month turnaround after getting brutally demolished by Islam. So, and Max Holloway's great. Max Holloway's a great fighter. But at 145 and even at 155, Max Holloway is not the same level of fighter as Oliveira. I just don't believe he is. I don't think he is. And obviously, we know Ilia Topuria has good jiu-jitsu. We know he has great grappling. And Oliveira obviously has great grappling and, some of the best jiu-jitsu of all time. So I don't think Ilia is going to be able to wrestle Oliveira. I don't think Oliveira is going to be able to wrestle Topuria. So I think that's kind of going to neutralize itself. But I do think, though, if Oliveira hurts Ilia with a strike, hurts him with a big right hand, he can get anyone in a submission. I don't think it matters who it is unless you're... I think the only 2 guys that he might have trouble doing that to is Islam and Khabib. Other than that, I don't care who you are. If Oliveira hurts you badly enough, he will submit you. Or at least he has a very good chance at submitting you. And I could see that happening in this fight. I really could. I don't really know exactly what to do for method. I'm not sure. Oh, this is so tough, man. This is... I don't know the exact method. I know I'm picking Oliveira to win, obviously, because I think he's going to be too much for Topuria. I think he's going to keep marching forward, and Topuria is not going to really know what hit him. I could really see, Topuria getting clipped of something and kind of being like, shit, this is not, what I expected right here. And so I think Oliveira is going to bring a new level and element of danger that Topuria has never faced in his career. And that's why I think this fight is a lot closer to a 50-50 fight than what Vegas is saying, having Oliveira such a massive underdog. So no, I get why Topuria is getting, all the picks, should be a favorite on Vegas. He's younger, he's undefeated, he's coming off more hype, but I think the hype gets shut down. I don't think he gets the lightweight title. I don't think Ilia Topuria and this fight for him goes as planned. Give me Charles Oliveira. Give me Charles Oliveira second round submission. I think he's going to be marching down Ilia Topuria. He's going to clip him with a massive shot like he did Justin Gaethje, like he did Michael Chandler, like he's done to tons of guys. I think he's going to get a submission, and I think Ilia Topuria is going to be stunned. I don't think he's going to know what hit him, and before 2 seconds later, Oliveira is going to have his neck in a chokehold. I don't know what submission. Give me rear naked choke. Drops Topuria, gets his back, can't let Oliveira on your back, submits Ilia Topuria, becomes the first champ at age 35 or over in UFC history, at least in the lightweight division. And Oliveira cements himself as potentially a top 10 guy with a win like this and a 2-time lightweight champion. So I got Oliveira getting it done by second round, rear naked choke. You guys are probably going to think I'm absolutely batshit crazy. Whatever, I don't care. I'm running with Oliveira. That's my thoughts on this fight. Great fight. I know it wasn't the fight everyone wanted, but overall, this is a really good fight. And, it kind of carries a lackluster international fight week card. I mean, this international fight week card is just not it, guys. So thank God at least the main event is pretty good, though. This is a pretty good main event, and no matter what, it should be entertaining. It should be a finish. I love both of these guys a lot, so, some of my favorite fighters. So hopefully, though, praying Oliveira gets it done. I think gets it done in the second round. So that's my prediction. Charles Oliveira via second round rear naked choke. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys on the next one.